What's going on YouTube? So Nissan has been selling trucks in the US for quite some time, and they've had pretty good success, especially with their smaller offering, the Frontier. The previous generation lasted over a decade, but what I'm standing next to today is of course the all-new model. Nissan was kind enough to send us this fully loaded Frontier Pro 4X all week to test out. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the review and see if they have nailed the small truck formula. So the first thing I noticed, as well as everyone else noticed that saw this Frontier this week, was just how nice this exterior design looks. It has a very handsome and also rugged design with this new generation, especially with the Pro 4X model. That's going to start out up here in the front. So you can get a couple different grille finishes, but when you choose the Pro 4X, that's going to get you the most rugged design. So you're going to have the matte black finish across the entire grille here. Of course, Frontier's running across the top, but we also have the special red Nissan badging right there in the middle. And then down below, this area is also going to be revised. We have this skid plate looking piece of trim right through here. Pro 4X is also the model with the highest ground clearance as well. So this is going to be 9.5 inches of ground clearance for this particular model. Now as we come over here to the headlights, you are going to see full LED headlights for this top end trim level. It's going to be included standard on this trim level. You can also option on these LED headlights to the SV trim level because the lower models will come standard with halogen headlights instead of these LED reflectors. But as you can see, very premium look inspired by many other Nissan products, including our LED turn signal and accent daytime running lights. Down below, we also have LED fog lights included on this trim as well. I should point out one thing while I'm thinking about it. I'm calling this the Pro 4X, but actually this particular model does not have four-wheel drive. So that does mean it's actually technically called the Pro X, but I'm going to refer to it as the Pro 4X throughout this review because I believe that's what most of you guys think of when you think of that top trim for the Nissan Frontier. Now, of course, the next place to check out will be our wheels. You're going to find 17-inch alloys on your Pro models. It's normally a contrast design. However, we have the Pro Premium package, which gets you these 17-inch beadlock look alloy wheels. Notice I did say look. They are not actually beadlock capable alloys, but they do have a very convincing look. In addition to that, of course, you're going to find that red Nissan badge right there in the middle. We also have nice meaty tires here that are off-road ready. Now, speaking of off-road, we do have the Bilstein shocks on board with the Pro 4X and the Pro X models. That of course is very good for off-roading, and we also have the nice wheel arches here to give more of that off-road vibe. As we come on up here to our mirrors, we've got two features on board. Both are optional for this model. So we do have the optional blind spot monitoring and we have the optional heating. So coming around to the side, there are a couple different ways you can get the Frontier. It does come in both the King Cab and the Crew Cab model. That Crew Cab model will be paired with a 5-foot bed. That's what you see here because that is the only configuration that is available with your Pro models. Now, taking a look at some of our styling, we do have what is known as the Sport Bar, an optional accessory on this Frontier. I'm not really sure what this is for, to be honest, but all I can say is that it does look really good. I imagine that is the primary purpose of this, and especially when you pair that with this beautiful white paint job with this model, really stands out and looks nice. Another thing I do like is also your Pro X branding here on the side. Definitely adds a nice touch to this design itself. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the back of the truck. As you can see, it does have a very premium and modern design, just like with the front. You're going to notice a lot of those same design elements carry on, including our red branding for our Pro 4X models. Of course, Frontier is stamped into the tailgate. We have Pro X branding right there. And as you can see, we do have very premium looking full LED tail lights, including even the turn signal. Definitely like the way that that looks as well. As we come down, you will notice we have the body color painted bumpers, and then you have your exhaust pipe over here on the right hand side. As far as your towing, the maximum towing for the Frontier lineup is just over 6,600 pounds if you have an SV model with two-wheel drive. But let's go ahead and take a look inside of our bed. First of all, take a look at that. We do have a dampened tailgate. That is a first for the Frontier and of course new this year. And looking inside the bed itself, Nissan says that they have increased the depth of this so that you have more cargo capacity this year with this new generation. And as you can see, it does look like it's quite a bit of space. I particularly like that the humps for the wheels, they're actually very flat and very low, so you can tell that you could occupy pretty much all of this space. We also have a lot of accessories on board. So we have the convenience package. Some of the things that's going to throw in is the bed liner that you see right here. This is the spray-in variety. We also have rails running along the side for cargo tie-downs. And furthermore, over here we do have a household-style outlet and some metal hooks. You also have some LED lighting, again, another feature that's thrown in with that convenience package. In case you're wondering, yes, I am doing Mason's part today. He is on vacation. Don't worry about him, nothing's wrong with him. He's just on vacation, so I'm holding down the fort this week with this Frontier model. But let's go ahead and talk about the safety and warranty information. So starting with the safety, you do have standard forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection on every Frontier, and the rest of their systems are available in a technology package that's offered on all of the trim levels. Inside of that technology package, you will find lane departure warning, not a lane keeping assist, just a warning. You have adaptive cruise control, auto high beam headlights, and rear auto braking, in addition to the blind spot monitoring system that I mentioned earlier. And that is available for only $990, so it's a pretty good deal. As far as the warranty information, 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, 5-year 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. Nissan does not offer any complimentary maintenance. But anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up the exterior of this very nice looking all new Frontier Pro 4X. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the interior, see what Nissan has thrown in there before we take it out for a drive. So walking up to this Frontier, you will find their intelligent entry system standard on this Pro trim level, and we do also have the additional remote start via the convenience package. Now to get inside the truck itself, there's not a sensor behind the handle, so just press the black button to unlock the door. And of course, being an all-new model, you do have an all-new interior, and let's go ahead and climb inside and check it out. Now before I get inside, I do want to mention we do have the optional off-road steps. Very nice and solid feeling, nice and large for your foot to rest on when you get inside the vehicle. Of course, this is not actually all that high off the ground, but we don't have an assist grip on the driver's side. We have one on all three of the other doors. But let's start out this interior tour with one of my favorite aspects, and that's got to be these seats. So with the Pro models, you are going to have standard cloth seating with red stitching and interior accents. However, one of the other things that's included with the Pro Premium package I mentioned earlier is this real leather seating. And as you can see, it does have a very nice look to it. I love this pattern that they've put inside of it. I also like that they put the Pro X branding right through there. We have more stitching details down through there. We have another kind of textured material that runs along the sides. These are very soft and supple seats as well. So I really like the way this looks. Black is your only color selection for this. Now as we turn over here to your door trim, you're going to find upgraded materials with this model as well. So we have a kind of rubber texture that goes across the armrest with a stitching detail. We have more of that material above it, and it is going to be hard touch along the top. As far as our windows, they're going to be one touch auto up and down for just the driver. Oh, I did fail to mention, obviously, the seat itself. It is going to be 8-way power adjusting. Well, we do have a manual lumbar, not a power lumbar on this seat. Now, coming back to the materials. So you are gonna notice, of course, a mixture of durable materials on this model. So it is gonna be hard touch along the top, nice texturing. The premium group is gonna throw in this leather piece here on the dashboard with the stitching detail. And as we come down, of course, there'll be some more hard touch materials, but we do have a leather covering here over these hand grabs, which I think is a pretty nice touch. And these are accented in this gloss black, which is the same as what we see accented around the speaker grills. Now, standard on only the Pro 4X model is a push button start. And after it starts up, you will be greeted with the typical Nissan gauge cluster. We've got a 7-inch multi-function display in the middle. It's going to be included on every front here. Of course, we got the red accenting for Pro 4X duty, and you can scroll between all the typical kinds of information, but you do also have some dedicated screens for your off-road as well as auxiliary gauges. As we pull back to the steering wheel, of course, we have a nice leather-wrapped one, as is included with our Pro models. We do also have the red accented Nissan branding, which looks nice, and piano black around the steering wheel buttons. As far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilting. It does not telescope, however. And we do have steering wheel heating because this model has the convenience package. But let's go ahead and turn over here and check the interior storage. So of course, we're going to start out underneath our center console. And looking inside, looks pretty nice. We have quite a bit of space. This is pretty deep, and we have a felt lining down there at the bottom, but nothing is officially good until we hit it with the big old stack of coupons here. There we go. Looks like those are gonna fit in there, no problem whatsoever. We also have a 12-volt outlet inside. Another convenience package added feature is this wireless phone charging pad that's located right here. I love how large this is. No matter how big your phone is, it will fit on this, because some types of vehicles do have chargers that are too small for large phones. As we look in the front here, we've got another large storage bin. This also has a nice rubber lining. You got, of course, those two handlebars I already pointed out earlier, and a couple cup holders. And coming back to the shifter, we do have a very tall one. Of course, operation is traditional, pull back for drive, bump over here to the left if you want to control the manual shifts of the 9-speed automatic transmission. And then heading into reverse, we will be greeted with this 360-degree camera system on your Pro models. Of course, this is Nissan's signature around view monitor, so you do have moving object detection and both your different views. You can also switch into a side view by pressing that button right there. And one of the exclusive features, though, if you have the Pro 4X, not the Pro X like what we have here today, that's going to also throw in a special off-road mode for this camera. And then finally, we do have rear parking sensors. Off to the side here, you do have a foot-activated brake. Now, as we move up the dashboard, you notice we have a blank spot. Like I mentioned, Pro 4X is going to have 4-wheel drive controls here. Obviously, we don't have that. The convenience package is also going to throw in the 2-stage heated seats, in addition to the heated steering wheel I already mentioned. And then we have a couple USB ports located right there. As we continue up the dashboard, as you can see, we do have a dual zone automatic climate control setup. Doesn't get any easier than this. Just adjust this knob for your temperature. You got your fan speeds and zones located right through there. And then finally, on the other side, we do have a second 12-volt outlet. Alrighty, but now it's time to go ahead and sample the audio system. So I am happy to report that we have inside of our Pro Premium package the optional 10-speaker Fender Premium audio system. So let's go ahead and give that a sample. to wait a second there to let the beat drop and give you guys a good sample. So overall sound quality of this system is quite nice. You know, mid-sized trucks are not really known for having great sounding sound systems, so this is certainly one of the best sounding sound systems I've heard in one of these trucks. Alrighty, so now that takes us to our main infotainment system. So standard on the Frontier is going to be an 8-inch display, but the Pro models are going to throw in this 9-inch display. Obviously that is a little bit larger. This does have a nice resolution to it as well, and pretty nice performance with the latest version of the Nissan Connect system. As you can see, you've got loads of different widgets and shortcut buttons down there at the bottom. Of course, you are going to have both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. I believe that the CarPlay is wireless, just like in other Nissan products, but not the Android Auto. I've got an Android phone, so that's why I'm not inside of that system right now. And as you can see, we do also have a built-in navigation system as well. As we move on from the display, you'll notice a little bit more storage up here above that. And then we've got two features that are both included in the Pro Premium package. So that's going to be this auto-dimming mirror with the HomeLink universal remotes, and this sunroof. So this is a traditional style, or traditional size, excuse me, as you expect for this class. Obviously it is going to open up. You've got a manual sunshade, and then in terms of the lighting, it is LED, and we also have a very large sunglass holder. Let's go ahead and hop into the back. Like I was mentioning, we do have assist grips on all the other doors besides for the front one. Alrighty, and as far as the space is concerned, as you can see, we do have about 33 inches of legroom and 39 inches of headroom. This is what this looks like adjusted to my 5'8" driving position. As you can see in the back, I do have plenty of space, and this is pretty much right in line with what you get in the Tacoma, except I do think I have more space to wiggle my feet underneath the seat, which makes it feel a little bit more spacious than that model actually. Now there's not a lot going on back here, but I will point out we have couple little areas to store things in the back of the seat backs. We also have a USB-C, a USB-A, and we also have a household outlet on this fully loaded model. Of course, the seats are going to be leather just like in the front, and we do have a arm rest here with some cup holders inside of it. The rear glass is going to be manual opening. Now I went ahead and folded up these seats here to show you guys what this storage looks like underneath of the seats. As you can see, both sides are going to fold up. However, on this specific model, that seat there underneath of that is going to be a subwoofer, so you can't store anything under there, but you do still have this storage area. As you can see right now, we do have some Nissan accessories. Looks like we have medical equipment in case someone gets injured, and a decent amount of storage. So a couple small backpacks here can actually fit underneath of this, so that's nice and useful. And then to release, there's just a little knob right there, and it will just drop straight down like so. And over here in the passenger side, it is going to be a manual adjusting seat no matter which model you choose. And in terms of our glove box, it's actually going to be a little small, I have to report. As you can see, for some reason it cuts off over here. So we just have this little area. That being said, we can still fit our coupons in there, but we kind of have to shape them into the bin a little bit. As we look up, we have a very large sun visor. There's a mirror with a light inside. It does detach and extend as well. Alright, and before we take off here, I want to hit you guys with some of the basic specifications. So what we have on board is a 3.8 liter V6 engine. It's making 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque. Of course, we do have the 4x2, as I pointed out numerous times today, optional 4x4 with this model, and very importantly, we do have the 9-speed automatic transmission, which I'm going to talk about, of course, throughout the drive. As far as your fuel economy is concerned, you're going to have 18 city, 24 highway, 20 combined with this 4x2 model. That does drop by 1 mpg combined if you go for the 4x4 system. And let's also mention the pricing. You can get a Frontier for as low as $27,840 for the King Cab S 4x2 model. Of course, your Pro X model is going to cost a bit more than that. So this model is going to have it carry an MSRP of $34,240. We have a wide variety of options. So we have the off-road steps, bed access package, Pro Convenience package, Pro Premium package, the Sport Bar, and the Technology package, and a few other options as well. Destination charge is going to be $1175, and that's going to take this Frontier to a total of $44,220. So that was an acceleration up to 60 miles per hour. We were actually going uphill. And as you can see, this Frontier tackled that really nicely. So like I was mentioning earlier, we do have 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque from a 3.8 liter V6 engine. And that is the most powerful standard engine in the class. A lot of the competitors, as a matter of fact, start out with base 4-cylinder engines, but this one gives you 310 horsepower straight from the start. And that's some serious power for this type of truck. I mean, it really gets things moving. It's one of the things I was most impressed by over the past week is just how quick this feels. Of course, I've been in a lot of the competitors, and some of them can feel kind of sluggish. This, having the extra power, definitely feels faster than Tacoma, which I'm sure a lot of you guys might be cross-shopping with. And, of course, it has to do with having more power, but it also has to do with the transmission. So I might as well go ahead and talk about that, too, because that's a very important aspect. We've got a 9-speed automatic transmission. So with the previous generation of the Frontier, we had 5-speed automatic. Tacoma has a 6-speed automatic. This has a 9-speed automatic, and this is an excellent transmission. I've really been impressed by this transmission as well. First of all, having more gears is of course an advantage for getting more power. Also, just it's very smooth and responsive, so you don't really feel the shifts when you're driving around casually. When you change your position, it takes very little time to drop 1, 2, or 3 gears and get you up to however much acceleration you need. And yeah, so really been impressed by this. It's actually not related to the 9-speed automatic in the Pathfinder. It's a totally different transmission, but it is just as good, maybe even better than that model. Yeah, I mean, acceleration is really good. I also just like the sound of this engine. I mean, it just sounds nice and meaty and powerful. As we kind of get up to cruising speed on this highway, let's talk about some of the everyday elements of owning the Frontier. Of course, you know, ride quality on this model is pretty good. We do have the Bilstein off-road shocks, like I mentioned, on the outside of the vehicle. Because of that, it rides pretty smooth and soft when you're out on the street here. Of course, you know, it is a mid-sized truck at the end of the day, so, you know, it's not going to take out all the imperfections. I've been in a lot of trucks recently that have, you know, adaptive dampers and air suspension and stuff. Of course, they're selling for at least double what this Frontier cost. So you're not going to have any of that stuff, but this is very good for a mid-sized truck. Additionally, we're at about 55 miles an hour. I don't have my sound level testing gear on me right now, but just listening to inside of the cabin based on experience, it sounds pretty quiet in here. There's going to be a little bit of road noise and a little bit of wind noise coming in, but nothing substantial. Definitely seems equivalent, if not even a little quieter than what most of the rivals are offering. And I know I did already mention it, but the seats, in addition to looking nice, they are very comfortable. I just noticed that from behind the wheel. You know, some of these trucks in this category, they can have kind of hard seats sometimes. These seats are very soft. As Nissans are really known for, they're very good at making seats that are comfortable on a long trip, and I see no reason why these would not perfectly be nice for everybody's body, unless of course you need some extra lumbar adjustment, because I will say this manual lumbar over here is not particularly good, but I'm the type of person, I don't really like lumbar support. I always turn it completely off. So, you know, just something to keep in mind. But for me, these seats are absolutely fantastic. Yeah, even driving, you know, more normally without like full throttle accelerations or anything, it really feels nice behind the wheel. I particularly like the torque. It makes it feel very punchy when you come off of the line from a stop sign, for example. And I know it's not a Focus, but of course I can mention the steering. I actually really like it on the Frontier. It's got some heft to it, so it does feel like, hey, I'm driving a truck, but I like that about it. And it has good responsiveness, as you can see. Turns really immediately, feels nice, you know, gives you a good sense of control. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much all I need to talk about for this all-new 2022 Frontier. Really been impressed with this over the last week. It's a very easy midsize truck to live with, and you know, obviously I don't even really need to say it is a huge improvement over the outgoing generation. That model was on sale for a very long time, and Nissan has put out a fully modernized Frontier. This feels you know, very, very competitive with the segment. And like I said, overall, very nice midsize truck to live with. This really is basically all that you could ask for in a midsize truck. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in to our in-depth review of the 2022 all-new Nissan Frontier Pro X. This is really a handsome truck that we really enjoyed testing out for the past week. And of course, if you want to see more truck content, make sure to subscribe to this channel, because we have all of this truck's competitors on our channel, as well as full-size trucks, powerful trucks, all types of trucks, cars, anything you can think of, we have it on our channel. So make sure you go down below and subscribe. Also consider following us on Instagram and TikTok to see our short form content as well. Take care, and we'll see you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.